more minutes talking about some of the tabs that are on the view of your whiteboard. So for instance, the Property tab. I mentioned earlier in a video that the Property tab really is talking about the properties of very few things. Generally, the tool that we've selected, and that's the pen, and the color of the paper that's available to us. Right now it's blue, but I can easily go in and change the color after the fact. And I can also go in and affect my tool properties. Whether it's the text pen, I can tell it what font that I want to use, what color I want to write in, and if I want to do bold, very similar to what you would find in Word. So now it will convert that to that text that I've used within that block. Properties also tells us, with some of the pens, which colors we have available to us. So when you think of properties, it's really limited to the color of ink that you've chosen and the color of your paper. The next tab that we're going to spend some time talking about is my View tab. In the View tab, it gives me the ability to control what I see on my image. Now you'll notice there's a lot of information that's available within this display. Up in the corner here we'll see that it tells us what pen we've chosen, that we're in the whiteboard mode, and we're on page 53 of 53. If I look along the side, we see the tabs that we're talking about. We see the menu that's repeated up here. We see a trash can down here. And we also see shortcuts to pen style, color, and thickness. And all of these can be turned off. You might be doing a presentation where you want all the screen available that you can. Well, by hitting the full tab, full screen tab, that's what it does. It's taken away our menu, taken away some of the other things we see. If I go back into view though, I can turn off my trash can, I can turn off my scroll bar, I can turn off my sidebar, and truly have a full screen presentation. But for new users, initially, I recommend that you leave all of these on so that you can easily get to where you want to go. Another feature available in my View tab is the ability to show how much of my screen is actually presented. You might not know this, but even though this looks like one piece of paper, it's really one endless piece of paper. So I can continue to write and write and write, not only vertically but horizontally as well, because it's an endless piece of paper. In fact, if I go in now after the fact and look at my list, here's page 53 of 53, and you'll see how large it is. But when we go to View, we can tell it how much of our screen we want to show at a time, but that might affect on how legible your information is overall. So right out of the box, it's set up pretty much very functional. You might not ever need to change it. The last thing in View that I want to share with you is the ability to go in and also add grid lines to my background paper. Grid lines adds the ability to keep very straight lines or do flow charts and graphs, things like that. I can also turn on what's called snap to grid lines. Snap to grid lines gives me a positive feedback the entire time, making sure that I stay on that line, making graphs much easier to draw. That's the information under the View tabs.